Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Mr. Allen, and today is May 14th. Hope everyone has been well, everyone's keeping safe. We are going over dividing by powers of 10. So let's jump right into it. All right, so I have a question here. It says, find a missing number, write your answer as a whole number or decimal. So I'm going to go over it two ways. The first way is, so we have a number, we're not sure what it is, but we know that we divided it by 100 and we ended up with 0.45. So we're dividing by a multiple of 10, actually 100. So we know we're going to move the decimal 2 times. Now it says divide, so we know that we move the decimal 2 times to the left. When you're dividing, you're moving the decimal to the left. So we know that our answer was moved 2 times to the left. So if we go back 2 to the right, we can say that it probably started here and then we moved 1, 2 to the left to get 0.45. So our answer should be 45. But let's say I didn't know any of that and I wanted to actually work it out to figure out how I got that. Let's do that here. Now, before I start, I want to apologize. I'm using a right-sided mouse. I'm left-handed, and I had a splint, I don't remember what you call it, on my wrist. So my drawing is going to be horrible. So I apologize from now, but I'm your math teacher, not your science teacher. So let's give it a random letter. Let's see, J. J divided by 100 equals 0.45. We had something divided by 100 equals 0.45. Now we can rewrite this as J over 100 equals 0.45. Right? So J divided by 100 is equal to 0.45. Now, the rule whenever we have an unknown number, like we have to get it on a side by itself. So in order to get this J alone, we would have to remove this 100. And if we erase this 100, we have to do the opposite of what operation is happening on the other side. So it's being divided by 100. If we erase it, we have to multiply by 100 on the other side. So to get that J by itself, we have to do the opposite of the operation, which is divide. We're dividing, the opposite of operation is multiplying. So now we have J is equal to 0.45 multiplied by 100. So if I have 0.45 and I multiply it by 100, we know we're multiplying by a power of 10. We're multiplying by 100, so we're moving the decimal 2 times, and we're multiplying, so we're moving it to the right. So your answer is going to be 1, 2. So J is going to, that was gross. J is equal to 45. All right, so we can put 45 here, and voila. So let's look at this one. It says, find a missing number, write your answer as a whole number. So now we have 14 divided by blank is equal to 1.4. So as we said before, whenever you're multiplying or dividing by a power of 10, all you're doing is moving that decimal. So if we go here, let's say this is money, this is $14. We know the decimal point is going to be right here, which is right here, and it was moved to the left 1 time to bring it here. So 14 divided by something, move the decimal point 1 time to the left. So what could that be? So we know that should be 10, because when you move the decimal by 1 time, you move it by 10. When you divide by 10, you move your decimal once, and when you divide, it's to the left. So we know that's dividing by 10. But again, let's say we wanted to work it out to figure out how we actually got that answer. Let's do this, and we had 14 divided by, let's use J again, is equal to 1.4. So we can rewrite that as 14 over J is equal to 1.4. Now this is different than the one we did earlier because now we have the unknown at the bottom. So we can't just erase the top number and leave the J unknown by itself. What we have to actually do is we can only erase the bottom number first. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite of the operation, which is divide, but we're going to do it for the J. So that's going to give 14 by itself is going to equal to, so we're dividing by J, we're going to do the opposite, which is multiplying by J. So we have 14 is equal to 1.4 times J. So now, because we don't have the unknown number at the bottom, now we can just erase the 1.4. And when we're erasing 1.4, we're doing the opposite of this operation, which is multiplying. I'm sorry, we're multiplying by 1.4, we're going to do the opposite, which is divide. So we're going to have 14 divided by 1.4 is equal to J. So this would look, I'm going to write it, let me just block this off if I can. I'm going to continue right here. So 14 divided by 1.4, the denominator is going to be the divisor, 1.4. And then the dividend is 14. So when you're in, that's going to equal to J. Equal to J. Same thing. So when you're dividing, the divisor cannot be a decimal, cannot have a decimal. You have to make it a whole number. So whatever you do on the outside, you have to do on the inside. So move the decimal point one time to make this 14. So we have to move this decimal point one time as well. So it's going to be 14 divided by 140. 14 can go into 14 how many times? 1. 14 can go into 0, 0. So 14 can go into 14, 1. 14 can go into 0, 0 times. Your answer is going to be, and read it out. It's going to be 10. So 14 divided by 10 is going to give you 1.4. Awesome. So let's try another one here. Find a missing number, write your answer as a whole number or decimal. Something divided by 10 is equal to 12.1. So again, we're dividing by the power of 10. We know that when we're multiplying or dividing by 10, we'll move the decimal point one time. We are dividing, so we know we'll move the decimal to the left. So this was a number, and then we moved the decimal one time to the left, and then we got 12.1. So what could this number be before the decimal was moved one time to the left? It would be 121. Again, if we want to break that down, let's go here, edit, like, so we had, let's use B. Oops. Let's use B. B divided by 10 is equal to, I believe it was 12.1. Yeah. B divided by 10 is equal to 12.1. All right, so we can rewrite that as B over 10 is equal to 12.1. So B's on the top, so we can remove the denominator without an issue, but if B was at the bottom, we would not be able to just erase the unknown. So B is at the top, so we can remove the 10, and we're gonna have B is equal to, so what's the opposite of divide? It's gonna be multiply. So we're crossing this out and we're doing the opposite on the other side. So the opposite of dividing by 10 is multiplying by 10. So that's 12.1 times 10. So B is equal to 12.1 times 10. If I multiply 12.1 times 10, I'm going to get 121, which we already knew. New 1 divided by 10 is 12.1. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. But again, the main concept I want us to remember is when we're dividing or multiplying by a power of 10, all we're doing is moving that decimal point. If we're dividing, we'll move the decimal point to the left. If we're multiplying, we'll move the decimal point to the right. And every power of 10 is one movement. So if we divide by 10, move the decimal once to the left. If we divide by 100, move the decimal 2 times to the left. If we divide by 1,000, move the decimal 1, 2, 3 times to the left. So we have 83.5. We divided by something, and we had 8.35. Now, I'm going to do the multiplication first, and then we're going to see. But looking on this, you should already know the answer, but let's go. Let's go edit, select all, delete. All right. Again, I apologize for my writing. It is not the best. Yeah, 83, I believe it was 83.5. Yeah. 0.5 divided by, let's go with J. You know what? Let's go with C. My hand decided on C. Is equal to 8.35, I believe. Yeah, 8.35. So 83.5 divided by C is equal to 8.35. So let's rewrite that. We have 83.5 divided by C is equal to 8.35. Now again, you can't just delete the top number, or you can't do that. For this, you have to do the opposite of the bottom operation. So what we're gonna have to do to get rid of the divide, or to get the C, we're gonna have to actually do the bottom one. You always have to do the bottom, you can't just do the top one. So we're going to do the opposite of this operation. So we're dividing by C, we have to multiply by C. So that's gonna give us 83.5 is equal to 8.35 times C. Okay, and now we can get C by itself by crossing out 8.35 and then doing the opposite of this operation, which is divide. So now we're gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna do the opposite, which is divide. So we're gonna rewrite the 83.5, and now we're gonna move that here and divide by 8. Oof, that was awful. Divide by 8.35 is equal to C. So how would I divide 8.35? I'm sorry, divide 83.5 by 8.35. Let's do a little line here. And I'm gonna keep going up here. So we have 8.35 and 83.5. So the divisor cannot have a decimal, it has to be a whole number. So we're gonna move the decimals how many times we need to make it a whole number. This one is gonna be 2. That's gonna make it 835. Whatever we do on the outside, we have to do on the inside. We'll move it 2 times. So we'll move 1, 2. That's gonna be 8. Actually, let's just go ahead and move that over a little bit. It's gonna be 835 divided into 835, 0, right? Because this place value holder is going to be a 0 there. So how many times can 835 go into 835? That's going to be 1 time. And then how many times can 835 go into 0? 0. So your answer is going to be 10. So C is equal to 10. And let's check it. We had 83.5 divided by something that gave us 8.35. We knew divide, we're moving the decimal to the left. 83.5, so when it was here and it moved to the left 1 time, so that's going to be 10. Awesome. All right, so I'll do one more and then I want to go over some examples I have. So we have find a missing number. Write your answer as a whole number or decimal. So yeah, pause the video if you want, try to figure it out, but we should have the concept by now. So we have something divided by 10 is equal to 399.7. So again, dividing by 10, we know we're moving a decimal to the left, and it's because it's 10 1 time. So we know that it was, whatever the answer is, that it was moved to the left once. So we're gonna do the opposite and say it was right here, move to the right one. So it was right here, 3,997. Move 1 to the left to get it here. But let's go ahead and work it out just to make sure it is correct. We have, let's see if I can write J this time correctly. J divided by, why do I keep doing that? J divided by 10 is equal to 3,997. 99.7. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite that as J divided by 10 is equal to 399.7. So again, whenever you're dividing and you're trying to get a letter by itself, you can always remove the bottom number, but you can't just erase the top number. So we're going to remove the 10 by doing the opposite of this operation. So we're dividing by 10. The opposite of dividing by 10 is multiplying by 10. So 399.7 times 10. So J is gonna give us, when we're multiplying by 10, we move the decimal to the right 1 time. Boom, it's gonna give us 3,000, that was gross. 3,907. Awesome. And then we're gonna check it. 3,997. What did I say? I apologize. Awesome. Okay. All right, so what I want us to do now is I have 5 questions here. I want you guys to try them, and then we're going to figure them out together. All right, we're back. So we have 38.9 divided by A is equal to 0.389. So we know that it's a multiple of 10 because we have the same numbers. The only difference is that the decimal point was moved. We were at 38.9, which is right here. And then we ended up 1, 2 here. So the decimal point was moved 2 times to the left. So we know that A is equal to 100. Now, we have 0.75 divided by something gave us 0.0075. So we know that the was a multiple of 100 because the decimal point was moved. That's the only difference with this number. So it was 0.75. So the decimal was right here, and it moved 1, 2 times to the left. So we know that B is going to be 100. Number 3, C divided by 10 equals 987.5. So what could that number be when divided by 10, which means we move the decimal point once to the left? So it's right here. It was moved once to the left. So that means it originally was right here. So we know that our answer C is 9875. And then it was moved 1 time to the left. All right. Number 4, D, we have something, or a number was divided by 1,000, and it gave us 65,423. I think I wrote that wrong. But the number was originally, let's see, 65,423. Well, the number originally was 1, 2, 3. It was moved 3 times to the left. So that means that decimal point would have to have been here, and then it was moved 1, 2, 3. Put in a new decimal point here. So you should have, see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's actually here. Yeah, 65,423,000. So they should have been your answer. 423,000. All right, E. We had 12,456. We divided it by something, and we got 124.56 cents. So we know that the decimal point was moved. It was originally right here, and then it moved 2 times to the left, 1, 2. So we know that E is 100. Awesome. All right, so yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to message me, or I really recommend going back in the video, replaying it, working it out before I give the answers. And yeah, thank you for your time, and you guys have a great day.